Okay, so how do you think the lesson went?
I think it went okay. I don't know that I felt that I got the point totally across. So I feel like I'm struggling with that.
So you don't think that, like, based on this lesson, you don't think that the kids are gonna see a letter F somewhere and know that that's what it is?
Not 100%. No.
Okay, so what, like, if you had to teach that lesson again, what would you change about it?
Well, I think I would talk more in depth and not just totally use the letter best, where I showed them, this is how you write it, this is what it looks like with a straight line, and I think I would have to use also maybe marker or chalk, big chart paper or something else besides just the letter best.
Okay. All right, so where do you think from here, we want to continue on the letter instruction, so where do we go from here as far as what are some things that you think that we should do to kind of emphasize, letter knowledge and identification?
Well, I was kind of thinking, and maybe you don't think this, we should focus more, like longer on one letter, like even on maybe just the shape of the letter, or so that they kind of comprehend more than that this is just a letter, or this is just some random object.
Okay, so what about small group? You've done a couple of small groups. Why not do small group every day and explicitly be letter instruction?
Okay.
Where, like, we're doing different things. So, like, you had mentioned before, your plan was to do, like, find the letter F on this sheet of paper and things like that. We'll do things like that specifically at the small group table, where you're showing them, like, okay, this is what it looks like, and you're asking them repeatedly, what letter are you writing? What letter is that on the paper? So that way, the more times that they say it, the more times that you say it, they're kind of taking it in and going from there.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just see how a small group might work, and let's set some goals for the next 2 weeks on what we want the kids to be able to accomplish through the small group letter instruction.
Okay.
So the first week is going to be the letter F, so we're going to continue with that this week. And obviously we want them to identify.
Yeah.
Okay, and we want them to identify not just on that letter chart over there, but in any context, in a variety of contexts. So maybe our first goal is we want them to be able to identify the letter F in a variety of contexts.
Okay.
So if they see one in the hallway, maybe they have a fire extinguisher, whatever it may be, that they can identify it. And then the next one, I don't know, what's another thing that you feel like they struggle with as far as the letter goes?
Well, writing it is a big struggle, which I know that's going to come, but I think they struggle, and maybe this will go with the first go. What if I tied in like things they already know? Like we used in the lesson, we used those picture cards.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that they really, and even though they were things that I thought were simple, maybe they're not simple in their life. So maybe if I use environmental print, if I brought in, I don't know, pictures of French fries or something like that would tie in to, so if they saw that, they would realize it in a more common way than a fan. I mean, some of them might not even have a fan. So
Okay.
You see what does that make sense?
So providing like a more authentic kind of way for them to be able to look at it and identify it.
Fine.
Okay. I think that's still going to be under, the identifying goal.
Okay.
Under the identifying it in context,
Okay.
because that's going to be environmental print. That might be an alphabet chart and, different things.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned writing, so let's put a goal on writing it. So let's say that they'll be able to write the letter F with, a certain percentage of errors. Because we know that they're going to have errors, and we know that they're going to do letter reversal, and that's just part of our age group.
Okay.
So let's just say that they're going to identify it in a variety of contexts, and then they're going to be able to write it with a percentage of errors.
Okay.
And then why don't we continue that and make that our goal for the next letter, which is
G.
Okay, so next week we're moving on to letter G,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to do the small group instruction on that for 4 days, and then we'll set those goals too. So we want them to be able to identify the letter G in a variety of contexts, and then we also want them to be able to write it with minimal error.